Do you ever sprinkle a few seeds on your cereal or salad, thinking you're making a healthy choice? You probably are, but not all seeds are as good for you as they seem. Some seeds can boost your heart, digestion, and energy. Others? They might cause more harm than good if you're not careful. In today's video, we'll walk through 4 of the best seeds to enjoy regularly and 4 that are better left out of your routine. It's a simple change, but it can make a big difference in how you feel every day. If you find this helpful, don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on the bell for more practical wellness tips right here on Nutrition for Seniors. Let's begin with one tiny seed that's packed with big benefits. Brazil nuts, a tiny nut with a giant role in senior health. I remember one chilly afternoon sitting at the kitchen table with my Uncle Joe. He's in his late 70s, still sharp as a tack, but often tired lately, and honestly a bit worried about his energy. He picked up a Brazil nut from the snack bowl, looked at it thoughtfully and said, "You think this little guy can actually help an old heart like mine?" We both chuckled. But as it turns out, that tiny nut might have been the most powerful thing in that entire bowl. Brazil nuts aren't flashy. They don't have the crunch of almonds or the color of pistachios. But inside that simple shell lies a treasure trove of selenium, one of the most important yet overlooked nutrients, especially for seniors. Selenium is a trace mineral, meaning we only need a small amount, but it plays a massive role in our health. It supports thyroid function, helps regulate metabolism, and works as a potent antioxidant, protecting our cells from oxidative stress, which tends to build up more with age. For older adults, selenium's impact goes beyond the science. Many seniors struggle with low energy, foggy thinking, brittle hair, or feeling off in ways they can't quite describe. Low selenium levels may be quietly contributing. Studies have shown that optimal selenium intake supports immune function, improves mood, and even helps reduce the risk of chronic conditions like cardiovascular disease and certain cancers. What's more, selenium is essential for maintaining proper thyroid hormone production. And as you probably know, an underactive thyroid can slow everything down: metabolism, mental clarity, and even mobility. I've personally found that just one Brazil nut a day makes a meaningful difference. Not only does it support internal health, but there's something comforting in its rich, creamy texture, like a little daily ritual that says, "I'm taking care of me." The key, though, is moderation. Just 1 to 2 Brazil nuts a day is enough to meet your selenium needs. More than that could actually be too much, which is why I always say small but mighty. They're perfect as a mid-morning bite, tucked alongside your cup of tea, or chopped and sprinkled over warm oatmeal for an extra layer of richness. I've even stirred them into yogurt with cinnamon and apples, and it's quickly become a favorite. So yes, Uncle Joe, this little guy really can help an old heart like yours, and maybe even give you a bit more pep in your step. Now that we've cracked open the power of Brazil nuts, let's move to another surprisingly mighty nut. One that doesn't just nourish the heart, but also feeds the brain in ways you might not expect. 2. Pistachios, a crunch that cares for your heart and gut. It was during a road trip with my neighbor Gloria. She's 72, quick-witted, and always carries her little Ziploc of snacks, that I rediscovered pistachios. She offered me some while we were stuck in traffic, saying, "These little green gems keep me from eating chips." I took a handful, and while crunching away, we got to talking about how hard it can be to stay full without reaching for something unhealthy. That's when it hit me. Pistachios aren't just tasty, they're incredibly smart food for seniors. Pistachios are rich in plant protein, fiber, and healthy fats, making them ideal for keeping hunger at bay. What makes them even more unique is their relatively low calorie count, about 160 calories for nearly 50 nuts, which is a generous portion for a snack. The combination of protein and fiber helps stabilize blood sugar and gives you longer-lasting energy without the crash. For older adults, the benefits go further. Pistachios contain lutein and zeaxanthin, powerful antioxidants that support eye health, helping protect against age-related macular degeneration, a leading cause of vision loss in seniors. They're also high in prebiotic fiber, which feeds the good bacteria in your gut, something that becomes more important as we age and our digestion slows. I love recommending pistachios as an afternoon snack. especially when you want something satisfying that doesn't weigh you down. You can enjoy them straight from the shell, toss them into a salad for some crunch, or mix them with dried cranberries for a sweet, savory trail mix. And because they take time to open, they naturally encourage slower, more mindful eating, a rare bonus in today's rush world. From Gloria's glove box to your kitchen pantry, pistachios offer more than flavor. They offer thoughtful nutrition in every bite. Let's keep the momentum going and talk about a nut that's often called brain food, but its impact goes far beyond your memory. 3. Walnuts, nature's gift for a sharper mind. It was a quiet Sunday morning when I watched my Aunt Marie in her 80s pick apart a walnut shell with the kind of calm care only someone who's seen a lot of life can muster. She smiled and said, "They look like little brains, don't they?" And she was right. Walnuts do resemble the human brain. Strangely enough, they're one of the best foods for the brain too. Walnuts are packed with alpha-linolenic acid, ALA, a type of omega-3 fatty acid that's especially important for cognitive health. Unlike fish oils, ALA is plant-based, making it perfect for seniors who prefer non-animal options. Omega-3s help reduce inflammation and improve blood flow to the brain, vital for preserving memory, focus, and emotional well-being. As we age, the risk of neurodegenerative diseases increases. Regular walnut consumption has been linked to a lower risk of Alzheimer's and better memory performance. But their benefits don't stop at the brain. Walnuts are also high in polyphenols, which fight oxidative stress, and they support heart health by improving cholesterol levels. What I love most is how easy they are to incorporate into meals. A few walnuts in your morning oatmeal, chopped into banana bread, or simply enjoyed with apple slices. They're versatile and comforting. There's something grounding about the taste. Earthy, wholesome, like nature's wisdom made edible. From brain to heart, walnuts remind us that the simplest foods are often the most powerful. But if you're looking for a nut that's not just powerful, but also graceful and gentle on the body, the next one is your best friend. For almonds, a daily hug for your heart and skin. One morning I was making breakfast with my neighbor Ruth. She's 68 and swears by her handful of almonds a day. As she measured them into a little ceramic bowl, she said, "They're like my vitamins, but crunchier." And honestly, she's not wrong. Almonds may be simple, but their impact on the body, especially in older adults, is quietly powerful. At the core of almonds' magic is their high content of monounsaturated fats, the kind that helps lower bad LDL cholesterol and raise good HDL cholesterol. That's music to the ears of anyone concerned about heart health, which becomes increasingly important as we age. Beyond that, almonds are a solid source of magnesium, a mineral many seniors don't get enough of. Magnesium helps regulate blood pressure, keeps bones strong, and even improves blood sugar control, vital for those managing or at risk for type 2 diabetes. Another quiet gift almonds offer is vitamin E, a potent antioxidant that supports skin health, fights inflammation, and boosts immune function. For older adults, this means brighter skin, fewer infections, and a bit of protection from age-related cellular damage. What I love most about almonds is how easy they are to work into daily life. You can snack on them plain, chop them over oatmeal or Greek yogurt, blend them into a smoothie, or even spread almond butter on whole grain toast. Ruth adds hers to a warm bowl of oatmeal with cinnamon. It's like starting the day with a hug from the inside out. So yes, almonds might be tiny, but they offer steady, grounding support, just like Ruth. But now let's switch gears and talk about a nut that tastes luxurious, but might not be quite as friendly to your health as it seems. 5. Macadamia nuts. Delicious, but easy to overdo. I'll never forget when my cousin brought back a big bag of macadamia nuts from a trip to Hawaii. We sat around the kitchen table, popping them into our mouths like candy. And that's exactly the problem. They taste so rich and buttery, it's hard to stop at just one handful. Macadamia nuts are high in monounsaturated fats, which are good for the heart, but they're also extremely calorie dense, with over 200 calories in a small handful. That makes them easy to overeat, especially for older adults who may not have the same calorie-burning metabolism they once had. While the fats are technically healthy, too much fat still adds up, and overconsumption can quietly lead to weight gain, which can strain joints, elevate blood pressure, and worsen metabolic health. Another issue is their relatively low protein content. Unlike almonds or pistachios, macadamias don't offer much in terms of muscle support or satiety. That means they're less filling and less beneficial for maintaining muscle mass, which is critical in aging bodies. To make things trickier, macadamia nuts are often roasted in unhealthy oils or coated with sugar and salt, especially in commercial snack packs. Those added ingredients turn an already rich nut into something that may promote inflammation and destabilize blood sugar. Now, I'm not saying never eat macadamia nuts. I still enjoy them from time to time, usually just a few as a treat, not a daily habit. If you do choose to eat them, go for raw, unsalted versions, and measure out a small portion ahead of time to avoid overdoing it. They're luxurious, yes, but when it comes to everyday health for seniors, we're looking for foods that nourish without tipping the scale too far. Let's move on to another popular nut that might surprise you with its risks, especially if you grew up thinking it was the normal nut to eat. 6. Peanuts, the familiar nut that might not be so friendly. Growing up, there was always a jar of peanut butter on the counter. My dad loved it on toast. For many of us, peanuts feel like an old friend, comforting, familiar, and full of childhood memories. But as I've learned through the years, just because something is common doesn't mean it's always the best choice, especially as we get older. Peanuts are technically legumes, not true nuts. They do contain a protein and some healthy fats, but the concerns begin with their allergenic potential. Peanut allergies are among the most serious and life-threatening food allergies, affecting millions. Even small traces can cause severe reactions, which makes them a risky food for many households, especially with grandkids around. Another major issue is aflatoxin, a toxin produced by mold that often contaminates peanuts during storage. Aflatoxins are harmful to the liver and have been linked to liver cancer. While food safety standards help reduce contamination, the risk still lingers, especially in bulk or lower quality sources. Peanuts are also often processed with hydrogenated oils, salt, or sugar. Many peanut butters, unless labeled natural or unsweetened, contain added ingredients that contribute to inflammation, weight gain, and unstable blood sugar, all critical concerns for aging adults. They're also high in omega-6 fatty acids, which can cause imbalance if not paired with enough omega-3s, potentially fueling chronic inflammation. That said, if you really love peanuts, choose a high-quality, unsweetened peanut butter and enjoy in moderation, perhaps a thin layer on whole grain toast. But for daily nutrition, there are better, safer nut options with more balanced benefits. Next up, let's talk about a beautiful nut found in pesto and fine dishes, but one that can come with unexpected after effects. 7. Pine nuts. Fancy flavor, but prone to a metallic twist. I once had a friend, Elaine, who made the most delicious homemade pesto. But the day after enjoying a bowl of her pasta, she called me and asked, "Do you taste metal in your mouth too?" Turns out we'd both experienced something called pine mouth, a strange side effect that can follow eating certain pine nuts. Pine nuts are small, creamy, and packed with flavor. They're often seen as a luxury ingredient in Mediterranean cooking, and they do contain healthy fats, some protein, and nutrients like magnesium and zinc. But the catch is this: not all pine nuts are created equal, and some varieties, especially from certain regions, are linked to pine mouth syndrome. It's not dangerous, but it's unpleasant. For several days, everything you eat may taste bitter or metallic, and there's no way to cure it, just wait it out. Beyond that, pine nuts are high in omega-6 fatty acids, and as we've mentioned, an excess of these without enough omega-3s can lead to chronic inflammation, something many older adults already struggle with. They're also expensive and can go rancid easily if not stored properly, losing both their taste and nutritional value. While I still enjoy a bit of pine nut in the occasional pesto or gourmet salad, I recommend treating them as a special ingredient, not an everyday nut. If you're looking for something to support your brain, joints, or heart, there are simply better options. Now, as we wrap things up, let's explore one last nut that often shows up around the holidays, but may not belong in your regular rotation. 8. Chestnuts. Sweet and soft, but lacking the power of other nuts. There's something nostalgic about the smell of roasted chestnuts in winter. I remember standing on a snowy sidewalk with my hands wrapped around a warm paper bag of them. Sweet, something comforting. They feel like a cozy blanket in food form. But when it comes to nutritional value for seniors, chestnuts are more of a comfort treat than a powerhouse food. Unlike most other nuts, chestnuts are low in fat and protein. They're actually much closer to a starchy vegetable, with a high content of carbohydrates and a higher glycemic index. That means they can spike blood sugar, especially when eaten in larger amounts. Something to watch for if you're managing diabetes or trying to control your weight. Because they lack healthy fats and protein, chestnuts don't help much with satiety or muscle maintenance. For seniors, maintaining lean muscle is crucial for mobility and independence, so every bite counts. Chestnuts also don't provide omega-3 fatty acids, meaning they don't support brain or heart health the way walnuts or almonds do. They're not bad per se, but they don't offer the nutrient density that your body needs in your golden years. I still enjoy them roasted around the holidays as part of a tradition, but I wouldn't rely on them as a regular snack or source of nutrition. And with that, we've covered the full circle of helpful and not so helpful nuts. Let's bring everything together in a closing thought. So what did we learn from these humble little nuts? Some, like almonds, walnuts, pistachios, and Brazil nuts, are gentle powerhouses, offering your body nutrients that protect your heart, sharpen your mind, support your joints, and lift your energy. Others, like peanuts, macadamia nuts, pine nuts, and chestnuts, may be delicious or nostalgic, but come with risks that can quietly chip away at your health over time. The good news? You don't have to overhaul your diet overnight. You don't need to be perfect. The key is to start small. Swap your afternoon cookie for a handful of almonds. Add chopped walnuts to your salad. Keep a few pistachios nearby for when the snack craving hits. These little changes, done consistently, can lead to big transformations in how you feel, move, and live. Aging doesn't mean fading away. It can be a time of clarity, purpose, and renewed strength, especially when we nourish ourselves with the right foods. You deserve to feel vibrant. Let these small but mighty nuts be part of your journey back to vitality. If this video spoke to you, I invite you to take the next step. Hit the subscribe button so you don't miss future videos filled with natural health tips made just for you. Every week, we explore simple ways to eat better, feel stronger, and age with grace. And I'd love to hear from you. Drop a comment below and tell me, which of these nuts do you already enjoy? Did any surprise you? Your stories, thoughts, and questions help build a community of encouragement, and I'm so grateful you're here. Together, we're building a space where growing older doesn't mean growing weaker, but becoming wiser, stronger, and more alive than ever before.